My son, Stephen, the second, we call him Deuce, he had a liver transplant at the very tender age of 8 weeks old. And he was the youngest in the country in 2012, and probably still one of the youngest in the country to have had a liver transplant.
Just seemed like a normal first month, of bringing your baby home. We did the regular weekly visits to the hospital where they do weight checks and things like that, and they noticed Stephen was a little jaundiced, so his eyes were yellowish.
I didn't even think the PICU was that bad. I didn't know that's where we send the sickest kids.
Yes.
And when that doctor came in during rounds, one of the residents, and she's presenting Stephen to the attending, and she says, "This is Stephen, our 2-month-old from an outside hospital who has fulminant liver failure secondary to galactosemia." And we're like, what? And this is why I know it was something that was relatively new to Georgetown as well, because when we had the challenges of feeding him after he had his transplant. So it was something that took us by surprise of what does this mean for us? And that was, I think, our first introduction to knowing that we've now got a special needs child because of this condition. And so as we were on the mend and he was getting better and we were going through the recovery part, one doctor said, "Hey, we're starting this new group called the PFAC, and we want you to be a part of it, or you should be a part of this." And so I said, "Oh yeah, I definitely want to do it." So the reason why was because I had this insatiable desire to want to be a part of something that was bigger than me, and to be a voice for those who maybe thought they didn't have a voice in their own health care.
So we recruited our members for our local PFACs by, first of all, sending out over 5,000 letters to the community to see if we have some people that would be interested. Where we currently are right now is we have 7 associates and 7 community members. I still remember when Lieutenant Colonel Coffey came for his interview, and he walked in and he had his uniform on, and I thought, this is really cool. I can't wait to hear why he wants to be on this committee. And then when he told his story, it just, you knew that this individual was truly committed to seeing Georgetown do better, and that there were opportunities for us to do better.
And really, as a hospital, looking to move forward and including that patient and family voice in all meetings that we have, whether it's our Quality and Safety Executive Council, which you've attended many times, or our Council for Associate and Patient Safety, but really bringing the patient and the family member to the table for all of our discussions and allowing that information to flow and getting real-time feedback, which is, I think, fantastic, but really developing that relationship throughout the process.
Well, and it's interesting because when you talk about getting that different perspective, so I was talking with my first sergeant today, and so, in my job, I've got 560 people that work for and with me. And my first sergeant, who's the guy who's charged with helping me to manage this enlisted workforce, his daughter is a special needs kid, and she had some challenges when she was born, very much a preemie, about 25 weeks. And so he was going through military medicine, and we didn't have that link that he could put his input into the clinicians that were there about what he saw for his daughter.
In 2013, when I was approached to be a part of creating the local PFACS at MedStar Georgetown, I was truly honored to be a part of such a great group and council that will put together patients and family members that will really embody the voice of the patient here at MedStar Georgetown.
One of the parts of healing and being in the hospital is not just the medicine, it's not just the pills and the prescriptions that they write, but it's also nutrition. And so I recall back one of the first projects we did at our PFAC was we looked at nutrition. So Stephen, normally with galactosemia, you don't do milk, you do soy milk. The problem that we had is that we couldn't go out and buy powdered milk. And when we asked the nurses, well, what do we need to do to get this? They said, well, we have to go through materials, and we've got to make sure it's billed, and we have to make sure that it's brought in. It's going to be a day or so. And I'm sitting here saying, wait a minute. The most basic part of getting better, the most basic part of medicine, of healthcare, is nutrition and sustenance. And we don't have, in this beautiful hospital, in this hospital with world-class service and doctors, we don't have powdered milk, and we don't have a mechanism that we can go out and get this. We can't just run down to the Whole Foods and pick up a can because it's got to be billed. So that was one of those things that made me say, this is something I need to be a part of.
I think one of the most key parts to our success is really leadership, and the leadership buy-in with our local PFACs at MedStar Georgetown. Our executive co-sponsors, Dr. Lisa Boyle, who's our VPMA, and Eileen Farrell, who's our CNO, have really been vital to the success of the PFACs at MedStar Georgetown. And I think that definitely ties in and speaks to our system PFACs. When we see Dave Mayer and Roger Leonard involved and Dr. Leonard coming to all of our PFACs meetings, so it's nice that our patients and family members can see that their voices are heard not only here at the hospital, but all the way to the system level.
I think the most important thing that we can do as parents and we can do as patients, patient advocates, is provide feedback. And essentially that's what the PFAC, in my mind, does for MedStar Georgetown. It provides them a new data point for feedback. So there's a new normal for us, and I think that's really the thing that we've kind of become accustomed to. There's a new normal with Stephen.
Yeah, we
with
like
his
to say
diet.
we have to grow up fast as parents, so he'll have to take the medicine, hopefully smaller dosages as he gets older. Some of the other medications, like for viral infections and for acid reflux, he should eventually wean off of those, like in the next year or so.
When I see him playing with other kids, when I see him developing those social skills and learning how to do things and jumping around and tumbling and those types of things, it just makes me, the feeling's really indescribable. I'm happy, but the feeling's really indescribable because I remember where he was and I see where he is now. So he's doing really well. He's turning 5 in September. We're going to be tied to healthcare because we kind of monitor what's going on. I think Georgetown is going to follow him probably for the rest of his life, which I like. A little bit of continuity of care.